News at 7. National Security Council fingers terrorist group for oral attacks as Governor Akeredolu receives more sympathizers. Ondo State Police Command has confirmed 2 deaths in Ondo. Independent National Electoral Commission seeks support of Nigeria Air Force in prompt delivering of election materials. And from the foreign scene, Belgian King in DR Congo laments consequences of colonialism. And welcome to the News at 7. I am Obi Chukwemeka Oti. The heinous crime carried out by yet-to-be-identified assailants has continued to attract local and global condemnation as more groups pay condolence visit to the Ondo State Governor, Oluwarotimi Akeredolu. A team of Catholic bishops from the Southwest and the delegation of the Ondo State House of Assembly were in Owo, where they registered their indignation to threats of insecurity in the house of God and the society at large. Government House correspondent Wahab Bankole has details.
The terror attack in Owo has attracted global condemnation, while individuals and groups have been paying visits to Governor Akeredolu and the survivors in the hospitals. Latest of such group was the Southwest Catholic Bishops, led by Most Reverend Leke Abegunrin, who expressed sadness over the unexpected attack, which he described as an attack on God.
It's very painful that if one has no faith, one can misbehave, want to retaliate, want to cross, want to say a lot of things that are not godly. But we are people of God, people of faith. Therefore, leave all those things to God.
The Catholic Bishop of Ondo, Most Reverend Jude Arogundadi, said the visit was to comfort the state and the people.
This is where we are, unfortunately for the wrong reason. Our wish is for something that will bring so much joy to our hearts.
Governor Akeredolu, who appreciated the visit, said plans are on to have a befitting mass burial for the victims.
It will be my suggestion that even if there are people have received calls of their family or members of their family, we must still have a symbolic grave there for them. So that at the end of the day, the total number of people that we lost will be so reflected. And they get to know this so-and-so person was killed during this incident. So it will be there forever. It's not something we can forget.
The governor said 127 persons were involved in the attack, while 61 survivors are on admission at different hospitals. According to him, 26 persons have been discharged, while 40 persons died. The governor said the update in the number of victims followed the harmonization of reports from various public and private hospitals.
As of today, now, we are carrying out the joint operation in the forest. The police are there, the military is there, and all of them are there now.
He urged the public to discountenance the figures earlier rolled out. Also, the Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Mr. Bamidele Oleyelogun, led other members on a condolence visit to the governor in Owo. The Speaker, who lamented the unfortunate incident in the House of God, lauded Governor Akeredolu for his efforts at protecting lives and property of residents.
So surprise package that happened. One of the days is to go, when people hear or heard that, let us go to the house of God, people are very happy. If you have any problem outside, go into the house of God, you thought you are safe. But opposite is what has happened.
Governor Akeredolu, who said his administration will redouble efforts at securing the state and its people, hinted that government will soon issue an executive order for all places of worship to install closed-circuit cameras in their premises.
These animals, okay, because I don't know what you do that. You not come to kidnap. You are not there to. So, there is no other way we can understand them other than they are terrorists. They were there to maim and kill. And it is.
The governor reassured people of the state that no effort will be spared towards the protection of their lives and property. From Owo, Wahab Bankole, Osrc News.
Meanwhile, the chief imam of Akure, Alhaji Abdul Hakim Yayi Akorede, has joined the list of concerned Nigerians to pay condolence visits to Owo town following Sunday's attack on St. Francis Catholic Church, Owo. The Muslim cleric, in company of faithful of the Islamic religion, visited the leadership of the church and victims to sympathize and condole them over the loss. Alhaji Yayi Akorede strongly condemned the gruesome killing of innocent worshippers and called on security agencies and government to stay on course in order to bring the attackers to book.
We Muslims in Ondo State, and particularly in Akure, we sympathize with these people, and we want to believe that the government know what they should do. When we are talking about the security as far as Ondo State and Nigeria is concerned. It's sad, and even it's very, very unfortunate. We went round the hospital, both the FMC and the Catholic hospital. We saw the victims, and it is very bad. And we want to pray unto Almighty God that those people who are behind of this such incident should be apprehended by the grace of Almighty God.
That was the chief imam of Akure, Alhaji Yayi Akorede, speaking there on Sunday's attack. In the meantime, the National Security Council has revealed that the Islamic State West African Province masterminded the deadly attack on St. Francis Catholic Church over Ondo State that left over 25 people dead on Sunday, June 5, 2022. The Minister of Interior, Rauf Aregbesola, disclosed this to State House correspondents shortly after the over 3-hour council meeting presided over by President Muhammadu Buhari at the council chambers of the State House, Abuja. Aregbesola, who spoke in the company of the Inspector General of Police, Usman Baba, said security agencies are closing in on the perpetrators through their traces. According to him, the council is gravely concerned about the spate of blasphemy-linked killings and had directed security agents to hunt those behind the killing of Deborah Samuel in Sokoto State and a more recent case in Abuja. Still on the Owo attack, Governor Oluwatimi Akeredolu has re-emphasized that perpetrators of last Sunday's attack on St. Francis Catholic Church Owo in Ondo State will be brought to book. The governor made the emphasis while receiving Oluwashindara Global family, who paid him a condolence visit at Owo. Osrc's reporter Zihino Biona reports as it's presented from our studio.
Oluwashindara Global Family is a non-government organization with the aim of bringing up young artists and the less privileged in society. Members of the Global Family, led by its founder, Evangelist B.C. Alawi-Yaluko, were at Governor Oluwatimi Akeredolu's residence in Owo to register their condolences over the Owo Catholic Church attack. The governor who said the incident was devastating maintained that security operatives are on the trail of the perpetrators and assured that the long arm of the law would soon catch up with them.
Ìyẹn la fẹ́ sọ ni gbogbo òṣè sọ ṣùgbọ́n àwọn ẹranko yìí ó pè wọ́n kọ́ náà ṣùgbọ́n àwọn ẹran náà wọ́n máa máa lò ọ̀nà tó bá gbà la máa fún àwọn ní fún ilẹ̀ wọn ò lè lè láì jìyà àbẹ́rẹ́ kẹfì wọn lọ́wọ́
The team was also at the palace of Olowo Oba Ajibade Ogunwoye, where the monarch harped on the need for everyone to be security conscious. The Olowo appreciated the team for the visit, describing it as a soothing balm. After their visit, the team went to the Federal Medical Center Owo and the St. Louis Catholic Hospital to see the victims of the attack and to present gifts to them. The administrator of the hospital, Sister Agnes Adeluyi, thanked the organization for the humanitarian gesture.
So we are hoping that by God's grace, some of them will go home before the end. Some have gone home already. So some more should go home by the grace of God before the end of the week.
The founder said the visit was to identify with the state government, our community, and the victims at this trying time.
This nation needs divine intervention at this time. It's not about political affiliation, but it's about time to reason that our future unborn, the children that were yet to born, they are going to meet this scar and it's going to be painful. So let us go to the Lord and pray that the Lord heal our land.
It wasn't go down well with me. As you can see, when we were in the ward, I was shedding tears. You know, the situation is pathetic, and we pray for God's intervention in this nation.
Some of the victims who spoke with Osrc appreciated the effort of the group. More spirited individuals and corporate organizations are advised to give lifeline to the victims of the Owo Catholic Church attack.
Not leaving the Owo attack yet, the United States of America, USA, has condoled the Ondo State Governor, Arakun Oluwarotimi Akeredolu SAN, over the last Sunday terror attack at St. Francis Catholic Church, Owo. In a letter to Governor Akeredolu by the United States Ambassador to Nigeria, Mary Beth Leonard, made available to journalists, the United States extended its condolences to the people of Ondo State and the Owo community. The U.S. government condemned the attack in strongest terms while expressing its concern over the growing pattern of violence that afflicts communities across Nigeria. And the Ondo State Police Command has disclaimed reports during the rounds on the social media that suspected bandits have reenacted the Owo episode in Sabo area, Ondo town, leaving 6 dead. The Command Public Relations Officer, Fumilayo Dolame, who refuted the hearsay, explained it was a robbery case. Bisola Aluko reports as narrated from our studio.
Less than a week after some deadly terrorists attacked St. Francis Catholic Church, Owo, killing about 40 people, a new report hit the social media that another gunman have wreaked havoc in Ondo town with 6 feared dead. But debunking the rumor, the state's police command said it was not banditry attack, but a robbery case. The command public relations officer Fumilayo Odunlami said there was an attempted robbery attack with a vehicle carrying onions and potatoes coming from Zaria en route Ore. She said the vehicle had a stopover in Ondo town, during which it was attacked by men of the underworld, and they also shot the driver and the motorboy, but a motorcyclist and his passenger who were passing by were not as lucky as they were killed by stray bullets.
The story is false. The story is not true. What actually happened was that there was a case of a robbery incident. A driver coming from Zaria in Kaduna State, carrying potatoes and onions, a route Ore, had a stopover in Ondo town with his motorboy. Past midnight, he was attacked, and there was a commercial motorcyclist passing around that time too, with a pillion, and unfortunately they were shot. The motorboy escaped with a bullet injury. So we do not have a story of attack on any community, any Hausa community, or killing of any 6 people.
Odunlami said investigation has since commenced while security operatives are on the trail of the suspected robbers. The police spokesperson asked people to remain calm and disregard the fake news as it is capable of stoking tension in the state.
What happened recently, we had gone back to the drawing board to ensure that we will beef up our security. Some of our strategies are being looked into on how to improve on them. And of course, I can tell you, we are doing a lot that we can't even tell the public about, just to ensure that there is peace and tranquility in the state.
Odunlame warned peddlers of fake news to desist, as the command would not fold its arms and allow them put the peace of the state at risk.
We'll serve you more stories. Please stay with us. Welcome back. Thank you for rejoining us. You can watch us live on our website, www.osrc.ng. You can follow us on Facebook, OSRC TV Ondo, and you can subscribe to our channel on YouTube, OSRC TV Ondo. Civil servants in the state have been charged to take interest in the reform agenda by embracing quality service delivery. The head of service, Mr. Adeniran Adeyemo, gave the charge at the 9th interactive meeting with the Ondo State Improvement Service, also known as Change Ambassadors in Akure, the Ondo State capital. Our reporter, Joy Pius, has details.
It is the 9th interactive session of the Ondo State Improvement Service, ODSIP, also known as Change Ambassadors, under the Department of Public Service Reform and Development in Akure, the Ondo State capital. Declaring the meeting open, the head of service, Adeniran Adeyemo, appreciated the reform officers for being steadfast in the business of fine-tuning the public service, while noting that plans are in place to upgrade some strategies and tools for driving reform in the state.
As reformers, it's our duty to continually strive to do things better and ensure a well-functioning government in all sectors and at all levels.
Delivering a lecture on strategies for human development and productivity for a high-performing civil service, the Permanent Secretary, Directorate of Rural and Community Development, Mr. Oluwafemi Aladinola, took the reform officers on characteristics expected of every civil servant for better service delivery.
Every civil servant has an assignment. The civil service was not just created to employ people. Government has an expectation on you. That's why your position was created. You are not occupying that position because you got promotion to that position. And that's what we are talking about, performance management.
A discussion session led by Dr. Tolu Ademujimi featured the Director General Performance and Project Implementation Monitoring Unit, Babajide Akeredolu, and the Permanent Secretary, Cabinet and Special Services Department, Kayode Ogunleye, with a focus on having one mindset towards achieving one administration. The Administrative Secretary, Reform Office, Adewale Omomewu, admonished the reform officers to ensure they implement all they have been taught at their different MDAs in order to help transform the state civil service and the society at large.
They must cascade what they have learned today so that the service can be better for it. And of course, I used to tell them that you cannot give what you do not have. It is what you have you will give. That is why they have to know what they have come here for today and be able to cascade to the staff in their different ministry and department.
Participants promised to go out and make huge difference.
Majority of the things that were discussed here are the things that we should go ahead and implement at our various MDA.
We must try as much as possible to improve ourselves for better performance.
The next meeting is expected to hold in 3 months' time. Joy Pius, OSRC News.
The federal government has declared Monday, June the 13th as a public holiday in commemoration of Nigeria Democracy Day, which comes up on June 12th. According to the Minister of Interior, Raif Aregbesola, the occasion is another opportunity for citizens to reflect on the long journey the country has made towards enthronement of civil democratic order, the struggle before independence in 1960 till date, and the sacrifices of selfless patriots. He therefore congratulated all Nigerians, even as he urged citizens to support the present administration in its efforts at ensuring a secured, united, and prosperous nation. To politics now. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has sought the support of the Nigerian Air Force in deploying personnel and airlifting election materials to remote and insecure areas across the country. The Commission also solicited the support of the Air Force to provide security in volatile areas, just as it had been doing during the off-cycle elections. The INEC chairman, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, disclosed this during his visit to the Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Oladayo Amao, in Abuja. Still talking politics, presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress APC, Bola Tinubu, has held a meeting with northern governors from the party over the choice of a running mate. Though the meeting held at Osrc in Abuja took place behind closed doors, figures from the nation's capital said the government is not unconnected with Tinubu's move to pick a running mate ahead next year's election. Also at the meeting, alongside 11 APC governors present, was the national chairman of the ruling party, Abdullahi Adamu. In another development, the People's Democratic Party, PDP, presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar has released his economic agenda guiding principle with a vow to break government monopoly in all infrastructural sectors. The former vice president stated this in his agenda released on his Twitter page titled "The Three Guiding Principles of My Economic Agenda." According to him, the economic agenda has a comprehensive objective of providing a more hospitable environment for businesses to thrive. The federal government has said it will sanction oil and gas companies that fail to comply with the Human Capacity Development HCD provisions contained in the Nigerian Oil and Gas Industry Development Act NOCIGD. The Executive Secretary, Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board, NCDMB, Simbi Wabote, made this known while delivering an address at the second edition of the Virtual Stakeholders Workshop for Human Capacity Development in the Nigerian Oil and Gas Industry. The NCDMB's chieftain warned that the board would enforce periodic forensic audit for HCD programs and companies found violating the NOCIGD Act 2010 and the ministerial regulations in executing cost-intensive capacity development initiatives as mandated by the Act will be sanctioned. The chairman of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, Brigadier General Mohammed Marwa, retired, has suggested drug tests for youth corps members when they resume for the mandatory one-year national service in their various orientation camps across the country. Marwa said it was part of the agency's drug demand reduction efforts. The chairman made the statement at the NDLEA headquarters in Abuja while hosting the Director General of the NYSC, Brigadier General Mohammed Fada, and his management team. He said there is the need for drug tests for youth corps members as they report at the orientation camps to curb the use of cannabis among youths. So crime-related stories, the Lagos State Police Command has confirmed the arrest of a dismissed naval rating, Ifeanyi Eke, for impersonation. The State Police Public Relations Officer, SP Benjamin Hundeyi, confirmed Eke's arrest in a tweet. He noted that during investigation it was discovered that Eke, who was recruited into the Nigerian Navy in 2010, was dismissed a year later. The PPRA noted that the suspect will soon be charged to court. The police special unit in Lagos State has arrested 3 suspects for allegedly attempting cyber attacks on 10 banks in the state. The spokesperson for the unit, SP Itaro Johnson, in a statement said the Commissioner of Police, PSFU, Nneka Anyansi, while acting on intelligence received from a leading new generation bank on March 30, 2022, arrested the suspects. He noted that the suspects were arrested with incriminating exhibits during a meeting held with one of the bank's workers they attempted to recruit, adding that the 4th suspect, Chibuzo Holland, who flew into the country from France, especially for the operation, escaped. Moving on to the foreign scene, Belgian king has repeated that he profoundly regrets his country's colonial past in what is now the Democratic Republic of Congo. In 2020, King Philip became the first Belgian official to express regret for the suffering and humiliation inflicted on DR Congo. Atana Donofali has details.
King Philip is the first Belgian monarch to express regret for his country's past in the Democratic Republic of Congo. But a speech to the Congolese parliament in the capital, Kinshasa, stopped short of apologizing for the violence and exploitation of Belgium's 75-year colonial rule.
It led to violent acts and humiliations. On the occasion of my first trip to Congo, right here in front of the Congolese people and those who still suffer today, I wish to reaffirm my deepest regrets for those wounds of the past.
King Philip and his wife, Queen Mathilde, are on a 6-day visit. The monarch and Congolese President Felix Tshisekedi have spoken about cooperation and development. They haven't mentioned the role of King Philip's great-grandfather's brother, Belgian King Leopold II. He turned Congo into his personal fiefdom in 1885. He made a fortune from rubber, which Congolese were first to harvest from the forest. Their hands were cut off if they didn't collect enough for their ruler. Up to 10 million people died. It was the Black Lives Matter movement 2 years ago that prompted activists to deface statues of King Leopold in Belgium. Some of the statues were removed and King Philip expressed regret for the first time. 2 years later, he is visiting Democratic Republic of Congo for the first time and brought back a mask, one of thousands of artifacts looted by the colonialists. He said it's on.
Before we go on the news at 7, here again are the major stories. 5 days after attackers struck in Owo town, killing about 40 people, the National Security Council has held a terrorist group responsible for the tragedy. We also told you that Ondo State Police Command has confirmed 2 deaths in the robbery attack in Ondo town. And from the foreign scene, Belgian king in the Democratic Republic of Congo has lamented the consequences of colonialism in that country. And that's it on the news at 7. Thank you so much for being a part of it. Good evening.